Hello, my name is Another Gizmo, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make an AFK Nether Wart farm. The materials you're going to need for the player AFK and detection system part of this farm, starting with the detection system, are 4 observers, 5 sticky pistons, 6 repeaters, 2 comparators, 2 hoppers, a redstone block, 5 redstone torches, 19 building blocks, 5 items of the same type, and 1 soul sand block. The player AFK portion of this is going to require some levers, some rails, some powered rails, and a minecart. Moving on to the collection part of this system, you're going to need at least 1 hopper, although I'd recommend 2, a minecart hopper, some powered rails, some regular rails, some levers, and at least 2 chests, although I'd recommend 4. You're going to want to start by building up 2 temporary blocks on the ground, and then putting a sticky piston facing out. Remove the temporary blocks and place a soul sand block on the outside. Place an observer facing the soul sand block. Run a repeater out of that at 2 ticks into a block. And put a redstone torch on the other side. Put 2 blocks on top, like so, and then run 2 hoppers into each other to make a hopper clock. Follow that up by placing a comparator out the side. Run that comparator into a block with a redstone torch on the side. Put a block above the redstone torch with a redstone torch coming back the other direction. Then put a sticky piston facing out with a redstone block. Place a few more temporary blocks, and then place a sticky piston facing the other direction. There should be a 1 block gap between the redstone block and the sticky piston. Put a comparator coming out of the other hopper now, and face that into a block with a redstone torch on it as well, with another block above the redstone torch and a redstone torch facing back the other way. The redstone block should move over like that. Then put a sticky piston on top of that with an observer facing in towards the sticky piston. Put a repeater at 2 ticks facing into a block, with a piston on the side of it, facing down, with a block on it. Put a temporary block, and then 2 observers facing downward, running into a block, with the block at the diagonal like so. Then you're going to keep placing blocks at diagonals to each other, all the way until you reach the piston at the end, like so. Then place repeaters on all of the lower diagonal blocks. When it's done, it should look like this. Lastly, place in 4 of the block type you chose into the hopper on the left, and the last block into the hopper on the right. Now for the collection system. Start by placing a block directly into the soul sand, and then placing blocks all around it, like so. Then, replace one of the corners with a hopper leading into a double chest. This is all you need to complete the farm, but if you want to AFK for longer, I would recommend adding another double chest and hopper. Now place in the rails. Put a regular rail on every block except for the one in front of the soul sand block. Place a powered rail there instead. Then place a block next to the powered rail and put a lever on the underside and flick it. That completes the collection system. Now we're going to move on to the AFK portion. To build the AFK portion, you're going to want to build out 4 blocks to each side with a block on the end. Put a lever on that block. Now do the same thing on this side. 4 blocks, a block at the end, and a lever. Lastly, place in the rails. Put a powered rail next to each lever point. There should be 1 in the middle and 1 on each end. Fill in the remaining gaps with regular rails. Now it's time to add your minecart. Turn off the last lever so your minecart doesn't run away from you when you try and get into it. As you can see, your cursor goes directly over the top of the soul sand block, meaning that if you have nether wart in your hand, you can be planting it on the top of an open soul sand block. This is now the finished nether wart farm product. Unless of course you're an idiot like me and forget to place in the minecart hopper. Place it down now on any rail and give it a nudge until it hits the powered rail. It should go on infinitely. This system works by receiving a redstone pulse every time there's an update from the nether wart, whether it be by placing or by growing a stage. After it reaches its full growth stage, the soul sand block is broken, and the nether wart with it, and the resulting broken nether wart is collected by the minecart hopper circling below. I created this design so that you could put these slices directly next to each other without them interfering. You can build this as wide as you want, without any gaps in between. The only changes you'll need to make are the overall lengths of your AFK and collection systems. As you can see, the nether wart was broken by the moving soul sand block from the piston, and put into this chest. Thanks for watching this AFK Nether Wart farm video.